Good morning, pregame crew. It is Monday, February 6, 2023, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:21 a.m. Eastern. Welcome to the pregame show. This is a show where I go over indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. I officially get started in 9 minutes, but y'all know I'm going to be covering charts between now and then, so just stick around. So I'm going to do a couple chart requests. I'm going to say hello to my friends and do an audio visual check. Perfect, Bob. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Nugget. Hey, Night Truck, H4M, Whitney, Greg, Mighty Ponds, Wave, thank you for being here and helping us out, moderating. Hey, Andre, Brave, Sal, Lisa, Keith, good morning, Jason. Hey, Mal, Michael, Tess, Casey, Jojo, Casey, how is it, Louisiana? I think it's raining a lot, huh? That's probably an easy prediction, though, right? Hey, Paul, Patrick, Caesar, Basque. Yeah, it has been, Slow Devil. Thanks, Wave. Hey, Robert, ER, Matthew, Chris, good morning. Let's go back up to the top. Let me mute my phone. Okay. Let's look at Meta. Meta has a beautiful hourly EQ. Your key support is 182.89. It appears to be holding for now. Y'all know what I call this. This is the nosebleed section, especially when you have these two upper wicks of profit taking. This is a tweezer top. Oh, let me change the color of that. This is a tweezer top, double top at 196.77, 197.16. That will be key. Let's set an alert for that. So yes, the volume has been unbelievable. Not all gaps have to be filled, so we remember that. Bears will be looking to top fish either 194.81 or 196.77. Bulls are looking to bottom fish 182.89. Just pretty sideways. Amazon. Okay, Amazon has a potential hourly bear flag. They gapped up on earnings, right? No. They gapped up before earnings. And then they gapped down after earnings. So, sorry, just getting my bearings with this chart. Daily uptrend, hourly oversold is going to be our first long attempt or long setup, in my opinion. So we'd set that RSI alert for 30. Let me know when Amazon gets oversold for the first time on the hourly, and if the market is somewhat strong, I will begin to scout a daily higher low. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed. MindMed. I do not know what the Bitcoin funding rate is. If you want to give me, if there's a chart, I can help you if you give me the ticker. But overall, I've heard about it. But again, I'm not a fundamental crypto person. Okay. It could be a weekly bull flag. It's just not the best location. Think about it. In order for a flag to be a flag, it has to come out of the ground. And this one's barely out of the ground. And then you want it to fly as flag. Well, this is really rough. But I would say breaking the low of the prior week and still bulls buying the dip is pretty strong. Daily chart's fine. No big issues. Daily higher low, it's 309 and your resistance 362. Oh, big spark. That was very stressful. I felt distracted. Like being on camera and doing the charts, it just felt very distracting. And I had to spend 20 minutes putting my face on versus that's 20 extra minutes on chart. So we'll see. It's not off the table forever. Yeah, I don't know, ER. I do not know. And that is so freeing. Do you know how freeing that is for you to be able to just say, I don't know. I just don't know. I read Thinking in Bets for the third time this weekend via Audible with Annie Duke. Unbelievable book. And then what was the book? The Mental Trading Game. Wait. The Mental Game of Trading by Jacob Jacob Trindler or Tendler? This one. Yeah, Jarrett Tendler. That one. I read this book this weekend. I'm halfway through it. Unbelievable. Really, really good. Oh, Greg, nobody wants that. You're moving to Austin? Well, that's pretty cool. I love Austin. Yeah, I can look at the AI chart. Again, I don't want to leave you hanging, ER, so if anyone knows the ticker on TradingView that ER is asking about, please let me know. Okay. So the AI chart, this is what a hype sector looks like. And if you haven't watched Dan's video from this weekend, Dan did a video on AI, on the 4 AI charts he's watching this week. Jason did a video on using ChatGPT to possibly create indicators and advantages, disadvantages. So we've got a few AI videos out there now, and it's something we're definitely going to stay on top of. Chart guys, one thing we really do well is covering the hype sectors. So Dan has been covering AI every day, I think, on his end of market recap videos. He's been trading it every day. So this will eventually end up in a blow off top. Was Friday the blow off top? I don't know. It does have upper wick and it does have this huge spike in volume. It could be the blow off top, but I mean, these bulls are not faltering. They're holding that hourly EMA just fine. It's actually one of my Queen of the Mountain trades, a really high risk top fish setup on AI today for the aggressive, super aggressive bear. And for the conservative bull, you're waiting for the first 5 or 15 minute oversold for a back burner trade. I will say back burner a lot on most days. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google, YouTube, chart guys, back burner strategy or back burner, and you'll see the back burner setup and how we use it. Hype sectors, yep. Hype, or if you're from the Bay Area, hyphy. No, I'm kidding. Good morning, awesome. ASML. This has a rising wedge vibe, even though it's not one, because this higher high really got a little more follow through. So I'm going to take that off the table. A weekly higher low is the more likely scenario. A daily higher low is the more likely scenario. Upper wick of profit taking on Friday. Your key support 64730. This is semiconductors. So bears are looking for a top fish. I would be a much more comfortable bear on this name, top fishing 5 or 15 minute overbought reverse back burner. And if I want to be a conservative bull, I'm waiting for first hourly oversold. Good morning, George. Hey, Bobo. He's talking about the Bitcoin funding rate, and there is a ticker for it of shorts versus longs or something like that. And I just don't know what that ticker is, but all right, it's 6:30. Let's get started. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter at Chart Gal Lori, that would be great. And that's where I tweet out the links for the show, some fun polls, which this poll is still perplexing and baffling. Are you kidding me? 68% of the 100 people that voted prefer cake over frosting. What is this world coming to? I have no idea. But we don't talk about cake and frosting for the most part here. We talk about the charts. So let's get started with ES, and then we'll look at the economic calendar. I have my notes off screen. Those notes are reserved for TCG members. I will show you those notes here and there as I need to show you different things. I will go over the economic calendar and the table. The table looks very incomplete again this morning because we have a push. We have names like XLE that's holding the low of Friday, XLF holding the low of Friday, but doesn't have the relative strength. So I just don't, I want to say purgatory. It's a little more bearish than purgatory, but let's just call it a push. So we're leaning more bearish this morning than bullish. All right. So we have a potential hourly bear flag with ES right now. And I drew my lines a little different this morning. I don't want to forget where we came from. December, this high, 4180, the high of December. Y'all have heard me say 4180 ad nauseum. 4110 ad nauseum, because it was such a key level for so long. And price has memory. It will gravitate toward areas of high volume, because this is obviously where a battle went down. A battle went down for 4110. Bears won that one. A battle went down at 4180. Bears won that one. A battle went on at 4180. Bulls won that one. So these two levels, I just don't want to forget those levels. So I just plopped them on my chart. And as you can see, we're holding this 4110 area from overnight. We hit 410625. We're bouncing a little bit on dollar weakness. So you see this 15-minute downtrend. When dollar got toppy here, let's look at the time. So it's 4:30 my time. And then ES started bouncing around 4:30 my time. So the market took advantage of the small opening that dollar gave it overnight, the last couple hours actually, with dollar weakness. ES like, okay, here, I can bounce finally. The prisoner guard left the gate. I can make a run for it. So bears will be looking to top fish dollar for a 15-minute lower high compared to 103.399. However, don't lose sight of where dollar is. Dollar has plenty of room for a daily higher low on the next pullback. This dollar bounce, if it gets going, an emphasis on if, doesn't mean it will, that could mean the end of this short-term run on the market that we've enjoyed for the last month, for January and the first week of February. That could be temporarily on hold as long as this dollar is bouncing. This is the most important chart for me in the market right now. It is really just leading the market around by the nose. Hourly, so I said 15-minute lower high is the more likely scenario, but is there anything wrong with this chart? Absolutely not. EMAs are holding and supporting price beautifully. Hourly uptrend, just gorgeous. So on ES, I talked to you about this bear flag. 8 EMAs is suppressing price. And on a bounce, bears are looking for 4-hour lower highs. So now we shift gears. So let's see. I always like to pick on I don't chart these a lot. I show you. So Hang Seng was down 2% overnight. DAX is down 0.85. But we go from, let's type it out, back burner to reverse back burner. And I kind of envision it like those old cartoons where you have the arrow. You know how you have the arrow? We have shifted from back burner status. I guess I should be pointing down. From back burner status to now we are in reverse back burner mode. When you are in a bull market, and I'm not saying we were in a bull market, but we've definitely been in a daily uptrend, back burner is your friend. And now we've flipped it all the way around, and now we're going for reverse back burner. That is the theme of the day. Overbought conditions on shorter term time frames are going to give you opportunities to top fish and short. What do I mean? Well, let's look at it. Look at that. First 5-minute overbought. Bear stepped in and said, not so fast. We got a perfect little double top. Nice, perfectly clean trade setup. Now, not every trade setup, just because it's clean and you take it, it doesn't mean it's going to work. However, 5 and 15-minute overbought conditions looking for shorts today should be your friend. DXY for dollar. That is the ticker that I look at on TradingView. Okay. NASDAQ. NASDAQ is fine. We're looking for a daily high or low. So I said we're going from reverse back burner to back burner. So as we stand right here, and please, I don't want to confuse anybody because I know I'm mentioning both things at once. So we have a potential bear flag on NASDAQ here. When or if NASDAQ gets hourly oversold in a daily uptrend, that's typically where we look for that daily higher low. If we can get to hourly oversold, then we flip to reverse back burner. Does that make sense? So if hourly is oversold, I forget this reverse back burner crap. I don't care about 5 or 15 minute overbought. If NASDAQ is oversold on the hourly, that means bulls are scouting daily higher lows. So we got to flip flop as the strategy changes. But let's look here. Or as the situation changes. You see that? Got overbought on the 5 minute, and then now we're pulling back. So if we get to that hourly oversold, I forget about this reverse back burner, and then I flip to straight up back burner mode for the hourly chart. Gosh, I don't think I could have made that any more confusing if I tried. Half a cup of coffee is not the answer for me in the morning, I guess. Okay, I need to be fully caffeinated. RTY, on any bounce, 4-hour lower high is the more likely scenario. Hourly is not oversold. RSI is at 35. Daily is fine. It's okay. If you look at that 5 and 15 minute chart, you're like, oh my God, it's over. It's over for the bulls. This daily chart's fine. It's no big deal. No big deal yet. Bears have not created major structural damage. They have not created major structural damage. Market's coming back pretty hard right here, right now. Okay, Dow's going sideways. Dow does not necessarily have room for that daily higher low. We're pretty darn close to it. So I would not take the first hourly oversold, which we hit it here, but I would not take that on YM because daily higher low is not a guarantee. We don't have enough room for it. ES and NASDAQ has plenty of room for a daily higher low. Of course, there are no guarantees in trading. However, the probability is super high that we get a daily higher low on those other charts. So YM would not be my first choice for a long. Resistance 34407, 34489, support 33579, and 33031. Yep, Jorge, hourly, yep. I talk about nat gas every morning, Chris. Every single morning, and UNG is nat gas. There are 40 bajillion people out there trying to nail the bottom of nat gas. Do you know how many people are holding bags right now of Boyle? It's unbelievable. Go check those Reddit boards. The Boyle bag holders are going to be the largest bag holders, in my opinion, for this year. It doesn't mean Boyle's not going to have a fabulous day. It totally could. But nat gas has been struggling. Wait for trend changes on shorter term time frames, confirm with bull volume, and then we start looking for that bounce. Okay, VIX. VIX is up 7%. 4-hour uptrend is just beautiful. We hit 1981 overnight. 2004 is that resistance. Let me set that alert for 20. If you're new around these parts, you know that I use alerts. It's the cheapest trading assistant out there. You don't have to be, I have to be in front of the charts all the time. You don't have to be in front of charts all the time. Set your alert, and then once you set your alert, then go to the computer or the phone, put in your order, put in your stop loss, put one cancels the other, put in your target, and then turn it off again. You don't have to be in front of the computer at all times. So I told you I read Thinking in Bets again this weekend, and then The Mental Game of Trading. And I had 2 points I somewhat wrote down while I was driving. It was in a safe way, I promise. But the most profound thing in Annie's book, and again, I am not a poker player. I just learned poker a year ago, and I've probably played 5 times with my kids. And they all made fun of me because I didn't know the rules. So I don't know a lot about poker. But I know when you see your 2 cards, you can either fold or you can play. You can, whatever, and you play. So I didn't realize 80% of the time you're not playing. She would only play, on average, a great poker player only plays, and y'all just bear with me, it makes sense, 20% of their hands that they're dealt. They only play 20%. The other 80% they fold. When they fold, what are they doing? They are watching the other players and their strategy and their decision making and how things evolve. And then they're playing out scenarios ahead of time. They're looking at mistakes that the other players made in the decisions. And that's what you can do when you are hunting a trade. You don't have to be in a trade all the time. 80% of the time, you should be sitting on your hands. And the 20% of the time you're in a trade, just focus on the good decision making. And if luck goes against you, Buffett happens to be on the other side of something you're buying and he's hitting sell, 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 it's okay. You got stopped out. You followed proper decision making, proper risk management. You followed your system. Now go to the next one. So that was one of my biggest takeaways from this third time around with this book was 20% of the hands, professional, good poker players only play 20% of the time. I thought that was fascinating and a great parallel for trading. Okay, I'm going to keep going with the charts and I have one more nugget for you from Jacob in a minute. Well, I think it's a nugget. You know, we're all at different stages of our trading journey, and something that's speaking to me may not speak to you because you're in a different place and you need something else, where I needed to hear that from Annie this weekend. So, all right, so VIX, we're looking for a daily lower high. But the 4 hours just fine. Plenty of room for a higher low on a pullback. That is a check mark in favor of bears, market bears. All right. Again, I mentioned Hang Seng was down 2%. Those China names could be a little bit heavier today than other names, so watch out for that. DAX is down 0.85%, so about even with our market. Bitcoin is fairly weak this morning. Well, it's trying to fight here. Fight, fight, fight. So hourly chart is pretty tight here on Bitcoin. 22,500 is your key level to hold. Plenty of room for a weekly high or low. And okay, let's just step through some things, thinking about scenarios and as they play out. And I think that is the advanced trader starts looking pretty far ahead. It doesn't mean they put the horse before the cart. They just start playing out things and say, what could happen here? Let's look ahead scenarios. We're looking at the second, the third flop, or whatever you call that. We're looking 2 and 3 plays in advance. All right. Bitcoin, this is a beautiful weekly chart. It's just beautiful. We're inside last week's range. The low of last week is 22,500. We are closer to last week's low than we are to last week's high. That increases the chances we're going to break that low, all right? What do we know about bull flags? They can sometimes break the low and not get a lot of follow through. So if 22,500 is taken out and we still hold, we have a candle close above this daily 21 EMA. If you use the 26 EMA, that's fine. These bulls are not in trouble. So if we look below and fail and then have a 15-minute trend change to the upside, that could be a long opportunity. Do you see what I did? I'm saying if this, then that. If this, then that. I'm using the highest time frame, the absolute highest time frame to say, okay, what's the most likely scenario? Weekly high or low? Bulls are in a better position here than bears. So then we look for that potential weekly high or low. And if there's a look below 22,500 and fell on low bear volume, then we start zooming out and looking for that bull flag on a higher time frame, and it gives more validity to that potential pattern. Does that make sense? Or am I just a crazy lady? And both could be true. Okay. Yo, Red Moon, what's up? Yeah, hit the like button. There's 384 of you and only 99 likes. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. So hourly EQ on Ethereum, let's zoom out and do the same thing. Okay, weekly's fine. No problem here. Plenty of room for a weekly high or low. Daily's actually much stronger than Bitcoin. It has plenty of room for a higher low on the daily compared to 1534. So Ethereum is definitely stronger than Bitcoin. What time frame you use the most for your trades? I like to start on the weekly, daily. So let me type it out for you. So I use the weekly and daily to get my most likely scenario. What's my setup? Where do my probabilities lie? And then I look at the 4 hour, 1 hour, judge location, who's in temporary control. And then I use the 5 and 15 minute for entries. So I don't use the weekly and daily for entries. I use the higher time frames to judge what is the most probabilistic setup that favors bulls or bears. Do I want to be an aggressive bear, a conservative bear, aggressive bull, conservative bull? Then I use lower term time frames in order to get those entries. Do you see how I'm walking through my strategy? So I'm going to drop that Jacob nugget now, and I'm going to show you my notes because I said I wasn't, but I'm gonna. Certainty and fear cannot coexist. Is that supposed to have a hyphen? Certainty and fear cannot coexist. Fear and greed are the two biggest issues that come into the mental game that trip up traders. So in order to negate the fear, we have to have more certainty. Fear is not a huge part of any issue I deal with anymore because I understand that my strategy provides a definitive edge. And over time, it's proven itself. So the more certain I am that my strategy has a greater edge over the market, then that removes the fear from my trading game. Does that make sense? So if you are fearful, oh, I don't know if I should get in this trade. What if I lose a lot of money? I saw this setup last week and it didn't work. You're not sure about your strategy and you need to dig harder into technical analysis, find a strategy, stick with it. Then if it is proving to be profitable, stop. Don't look at anything else. Stop looking for the Holy Grail. Stop chasing the next shiny thing and use that strategy day in, day out, and remove the majority of fear from your trading by the certainty and confidence that you have in your system. How cool is that? It's so cool. I just love trading. Okay, gold. Gold's having a rough day. It's having a rough night. It has a potential 4-hour bear flag. Why? Because dollar weakness. Gold is going to have a hard time getting up off the ground as long as the dollar retains this strength that it's been demonstrating Friday and overnight. Your key support, 1873, and that's a double bottom with 1872, and then you're looking down at 1829. Okay. Oh, good, Tiffany. I'm glad it made sense. All right. So gold, bears are looking to top fish overbought conditions on shorter term time frames. Bears have control of this chart. But when we zoom out, there is plenty of room for a weekly high or low. So gold bears don't need to forget that. All right. So yes, gold bears have shorter term control. They even busted up that daily chart. 4-hour got oversold. We're looking for a weekly high or low. Where do we typically look for that? Weekly oversold. 4-hour oversold, looking for that weekly high or low. So don't get too cocky down here, bears, is what I'm trying to say. Silver. Potential 4-hour bear flag. Oversold. Looking for the weekly high or low. Where's the weekly high or low? What's that level? $21.61. Okay. This could be interesting. Let me go set my alert for this. And you can see RSI is a key component to my system because I learned from Dan, and RSI is a key component to his system. Even though our systems deviate, we still have a lot in common. Okay, so what I just did, look at 2161. That would be the general area where the daily gets oversold. Hang with me now. Daily would be oversold at 2161 area. It updates, of course. It's constantly just slowly changing throughout the day, but that's just a general estimate of the area, 2161. Our weekly high or low, let me hide that now. Our weekly high or low is at 2060. That means daily could get oversold on silver. So I just set my alert. Let me know when it's 30. And then that could be a nice risk to reward area for bulls to bottom fish that weekly higher low attempt with daily oversold, because typically we wait for 4-hour oversold, but 4-hour oversold didn't get the job done. Look, we got 4-hour oversold. Now we got a bear flag. So another push down into 2160 area could bring about daily oversold, and that would increase the odds that that daily higher low area, it's a better location to scout for that weekly higher low. Man, I am so long-winded today. And long-winded, if you're not from the US, that just means that I'm very talkative, and it's taking me, I have to go around the horn, as my grandma would say, to explain what I'm trying to say. Potential 4-hour bear flag on oil. Oil is weak. Weekly higher low is still a possibility, but not a guarantee. And we're holding last week's low. Last week's low, 73.10. We hit 73.13 overnight. We have a weekly double bottom for now. So that's pretty good area for bulls to bottom fish. You see what they did there? They're like, okay, let's see if we can hold last week's low. And then if I'm wrong, I stop out by 5 cents. No big deal, 3 cents. Nat gas. Nat gas does a whole lot of nothing. It's running into the hourly 50 MA and rejecting. It got above 2468 and failed. Your key support 2377. I told y'all last week, and I'll tell you again, and I told you probably the month before that, nat gas likes to play games all the time, but especially in the morning. On low volume, poor liquidity, it likes to run to, in this case, run higher, trap some bulls, and then reverse it. Because they have low volume, they can do it. They're just playing games with you. They're playing games with your emotions. Stay away from it. If you're a solid nat gas trader, you know this is not the time to trade unless you're going to play games with the people who don't understand the game and take advantage of them. Sure. All right. A nat gas, there's not a lot to say. Bears are in control. Apple. All right, I drew this Friday when I was live, midday show. By the way, if you don't know, the Chart Guys community, we have a Slack chat where we have about 940 of my closest friends. And in that Slack chat, we post live videos. So Dan will be live in 7 minutes. And members will put their chart request in a thread that he posts. He'll go over setups he's looking at, the indices, and then he'll start answering chart requests. So that's live 3 times a day. So you get all your chart requests answered at any time. You could write it in chat and say, hey, can someone help me with the Apple chart? You don't even have to wait for the live stream. All right, so I drew this Friday while I was live, and we're still holding 50% of Friday's move. So we're holding 50% of Friday's move. Now I'm going to take this busyness off. And what that means is from Friday's low to Friday's high, we're at 50%. We're holding it. That's not bad. That's some relative strength, actually. Look at Amazon. It just totally smashed Friday's low. It's weak. So Amazon is weak. Amazon first 5 and 15 minute overbought could provide nice reverse backburner top fish setups. Nvidia, we're through Friday's low. Just barely. Just barely. Nvidia's trying to hold up a little bit better than Amazon, but Amazon's definitely a weak one. Look at Tesla. Tesla's like, whoa, what? We're red? Not me. So Tesla has a weekly double top at 199. I think I have an alert there, but I'm going to set it anyway. If Tesla gets up to 198.70 area again, at that 199 area, I'd look to top fish that area until it stops working, because we have great evidence that that area is holding for now and bears are defending. However, I don't want to just be in the mode to short the biggest bull of the day. And right now, Tesla's definitely the biggest bull. No weakness right now, despite the market being weak. All right. AI. Top fish setup with 28.48. Now, it hit 28.80 in pre-market. Carry that information forward. It's definitely on high volume, so it's definitely valid. So just carry that forward. Here's my levels. So then you could look to top fish 28.48. If that holds, and then if you get stopped out, then you could look to top fish 28.80. That is only for the most aggressive bears. Most. So right now, bulls have it with this name. They are hungry, hungry hippos on this hype sector. So AI, Dan was showing in this weekend's AI video. If you didn't see that video, I strongly suggest you watch it. Remember, if you have no interest in artificial intelligence whatsoever, he's still dropping dimes. He's dropping nuggets on how to trade EQ. I promise I'm going to get there. So this was Friday's setup. So, of course, when I'm talking to y'all, we're over here in this gray area. We're in pre-market. Nothing's really happened as far as real trading day setups. So once it opens up, I have no idea what it's going to do. Traders who have an edge of, I know how to trade these. This is a tightening pattern. Oh, we're holding the 50 RSI. Oh, we had elevated bull volume at the open. I know what to do with this. I know exactly what to do with this. I'm going to bottom fish that 23.79 within that tightening range and position myself bullishly because the preceding trend was up. Did y'all catch all that? That's my system. That's systems that we teach in Chart Guys. That's what you do. So you wait for those tightening ranges. You look at the preceding trend. What's the volume? What's RSI like? Okay. I'm going to get inside this tightening range, position myself for a potential long breakout. I stop out below 23.79. My thesis was wrong. Then what kind of, let's see. What is the price? If you would have taken that trade right here, that's 20%, a 20% move up from that higher low on AI. Okay, BBAI. BBAI has great volume this morning as well, along with AI. These three names have great volume in pre-market, and they're all AI related. SOUN, if you don't have that on your list, I would add that to my AI list if I were you. And FRSH. FRSH had news with Meta this morning. They are also an AI company. Okay, let me land the plane. So BBAI, I'm waiting for first 15-minute oversold and or tightening ranges. And within those tightening ranges, position myself accordingly for potential breakouts or breakdowns, depending on what I'm seeing at the time with the market and the name. And these names can typically do whatever the heck they want to do. They're honey badgers. They don't have to do what the market does because they're not part of ETFs. Most of them are not. SOUN, Soundhound, beautiful first 5 or 15-minute oversold and or tightening ranges. Netflix, a big old bear. Dan pointed this setup out this morning, looking for that hourly lower high compared to Friday's high. And first 5 or 15-minute overbought could mark that hourly lower high for that top fish setup. Oh, Gary, I have a ton. This is how many I have. Yeah, we got it. So TCG we've shared this. I have RBot. We shared this with our members. Joey and Red Devil worked on it. But I added FRSH this morning and SOUN because those are two names we didn't have on our list that we've been sharing inside our chat. But thanks, Gary. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to wrap it up. Dan is going live in 1 minute. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, hit that like button. Give me a follow on Twitter, @ChartGalLori. All right. And most importantly, use stop losses. Oh shoot, I forgot to say that Fed Powell is talking tomorrow at 12:40 Eastern. Fed Williams is speaking Wednesday. We have a smattering of earnings throughout the week, and we have the State of the Union address tomorrow night. So we still have economic events that can move the market, so stay vigil.